final game we're going to go over before we get into quickly some other things is the Colorado game. Colorado beat North Dakota State 31-26 in this game. We're going to go over quickly the grades to know from this Colorado game. So quickly, the Colorado offense in this game, Dawn. Shedeur Sanders was awesome. 90.7 grade. Jimmy Horn Jr., 83.3 grade. Travis Hunter, 81.6 grade. The center, Hank Zelinskis, had a 66.9 grade. And the offensive guard, Justin Mayers, at a 65.5. Colorado defensively also had some guys that stood out in this game as well, including a guy that stood out offensively as well. Travis Hunter, you see right there at 66.4. So top 5 offensive and defensive grade for Colorado in this game. Chidozie Nwankwo, though, was the highest grade player at 76.5. Shiloh Sanders at a 71.8. Nakai Hill-Green at a 70.3. And Arden Walker at a 69.4. Let's go over to the North Dakota State side of the ball, and their 5 highest graded offensive players in this game. Gray Zabel, the offensive guard, at an 89.9. Really good game for him. Joe Stoffel, the tight end, at a 76.8. Cam Miller, the quarterback, at a 68.9. The best player in FCS, Dawn, by the way, right? That's what you said. Braylon Henderson, the wide receiver, at a 68.9. And Trent Fraley, the center, at a 67.1. Just to kind of a joke that we had there is because we said he is, and then FCS Twitter lit us up because Mark Rowinski, right, was the
Gronowski.
Excuse me. I don't even know his name. That's why man, they're really going to kill me for that now.
Oh, yeah.
No, I did know Mark Gronowski, but he's the reigning Walter Payton winner last year. But grading wise, Cam Miller was higher graded last year, so that's why we made that. But
it'll be a controversy all season.
It'll be a controversy all season now. We are in the Cam Miller boat apparently now. So let's go over North Dakota State defensively though in this game. Loshiaka Roque at a 69.6. Jackson Dunton-Heffer at a 65.3. Eli Mostart at a 62.6. Logan Kopp at a 61.1. And Anthony Chidemi Alfaro at a 61 in this game. Dalton, for you, what was the stat that really told the story for you in this game?
Okay. I'm going to start with this. I believe Colorado has the talent to win 9 or 10 games. I think they have the players to win 9 or 10 games. I really do. I highly question what we're calling on defense and in coverage. Let me start with this. Last year, and they got a new defensive coordinator, Robert Livingston, in there. Last year, and they ran single high at a pretty solidly above average rate. Okay, last year in single high defenses, they were the lowest graded defense in the Power 5. Okay, so I would think maybe let's mix it up here. Like it's just hard, right? The stat for me. They played cover 1 max. Okay, man coverage across the board, 1 safety back free.
Yep. On
69.4% of their snaps, 50 out of 72. Let's get a reference for that real quick. Last year, Illinois led the nation in cover 1 percentage of their defense at just under 59%. Purdue was second at around 56, and no other team was above 47. And those two teams have really good secondaries, and they're playing in the Big Ten West, and they're playing teams like Northwestern and each other. And Iowa, like, it makes sense in their environments to do that. If you're going to be a team that does that, either you have to be in an environment like that, or you have to be like Penn State, where you have freaks up front that are going to get there in 2.2 seconds or whatever. I thought Colorado's defensive line played well in this game. Nwankwo, Deion Hayes, especially in run defense, Deion Hayes, Ryan Buell, BJ Green, like a little more pass rush. I could have used that, but their D-line played well. The front 7 played well. I saw what I wanted to see out of Colorado's D-line. I think this was an issue more schematically that North Dakota State, when they were seeing man coverage almost every play, they knew what to go to.
Yep.
Any respectable offensive coordinator has several pages in his book for all right, these are just man beaters.
Yep.
Even if we're less talented, we have things, we have pick plays, we have certain screens, we have motion out and run quarterback draw with a guy like Cam Miller. We just have things in the book that can beat man coverage, even if you have guys like Travis Hunter and Preston Hodge, right? Or we'll find matchups, right? What was it? The second play of the game, they ISO the running back on Trevor Woods, right?
Yep.
And look, Trevor Woods, good player. He's still a linebacker. Man-to-man on a linebacker, unless his name is Fred Warner, is really advantageous for the offense. Honestly, and we know Trevor Woods is not Fred Warner. We know this. Good player, not Fred Warner. I'm maybe what I'm hoping for this defense is that was just a plan against this team. Colorado clearly, and we'll get into it offensively, clearly had more athletes on the field. A dynamic level of Horn, LaJohntay Wester, Hunter, Preston Hodge made a couple of plays, had one pass breakup. clearly just had a different level of athlete, and they used that to their advantage. I want to see, though, moving forward, I don't think they can survive like that.
No.
In the Big 12, maybe next week against Nebraska, against better opponents than this, you can't go out there and play man coverage 70% of the time. Maybe it'll change. Maybe there's more in there. Maybe that was this week. It's 1 week. I'm not going to freak out. It's a new defensive coordinator.
Right, yeah.
But to me, that was the biggest problem. Is actually they were kind of being out-schemed more so than their players. Like, a lot of people are getting on Colorado's, they're bad, they're still bad. I don't think it was on the players.
No.
I mean, there's times when Shiloh, as a free safety, is basically singled up against Cam Miller on a quarterback draw because we emptied it out. And he's left to tackle Cam Miller solo, which even for a Power 5 guy is not easy. Cam Miller's really good. So
Best player in the FCS.
He's the best offensive player in the FCS. We're gonna have,
I'm just trying to get you in trouble with that, man.
I know. We're gonna have a problem in South Dakota. Gronowski's really good too. Actually played pretty well against Oklahoma State. Didn't get a win, but they weren't supposed to down there. Anyway, the FCS rants are gonna be rough.
We do love South Dakota State, by the way. Unbelievable program.
Champs, back-to-back champs.
Unbelievable.
They're unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, they did make a game out of it.
It was just that one clip.
Both teams are great programs. It's just it'll be fun. We'll have to watch some FCS during our 15-hour Saturdays. But no, Colorado. I just want to see more diversity in coverage. I thought on both sides of the ball, I saw what I wanted to see out of the trenches. I thought their offensive line played well too on that side. I know you're going to get into Shador here in a second, but I thought I wanted to see Colorado play well in the trenches, and I really thought they did. Just the coverage, just mix it up some, and if they run 70% man coverage against Nebraska, I'll be a little worried.
Yeah, I really think so too, man. I think that was alarming, and I remember watching the game. I even tweeted out. I think I beat you to the tweet. I remember the Madden player. I was like, "Oh yeah, cover one. Here we go. Colorado's gonna run this every single play." But yeah, man, it's just that they run that coverage like so often. And again, maybe that was the game plan, and sure, and that makes sense because obviously North Dakota State, you were scared of the rushing attack that we mentioned in the preview, so maybe that's why they're like, hey, we got to stack the box and make sure we stop that. But yeah, if this keeps up though, and this is just who they are, then it's like this is not going to work, man. So we'll see what happens, and I think it's Nebraska one's going to be huge as to how they play that. But yeah, we'll see. But it was alarming at how often they ran that same coverage every single play. It felt like my stat that told the story was Shador Sanders, who we mentioned before, was absolutely fantastic in this game, and you're going to talk about him, I think, in a little bit too. But yeah, I think he just under pressure, man, was awesome. 90.4 grade under pressure, passing grade. That was a career high for him. He had 3 big-time throws and 0 turnover-worthy plays under pressure. And what's so great about that, last year, he was 3rd in the country in clean pocket passing grade, and the only 2 above him were Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. So when he's kept clean, he was the 3rd best quarterback in the country behind 2 guys who were Heisman Trophy winners and number 1 and number 2 overall picks in the NFL draft. This game, he was unbelievable under pressure. 90.4 grade under pressure is crazy, man. So I understand under pressure stuff is incredibly unstable, and clean pocket passing grade is the better thing to look at in terms of how it'll progress, week over week. But if he can keep this up, man, he could be damn near unstoppable as a quarterback who really excels from a clean pocket. In this game, at least, excelled under pressure as well. Shador Sanders, man, he looked every bit like one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL draft as well.
Yeah, he's fantastic. This isn't just hype train. He's just terrific. And for me, it's the way he sees the field. And look, North Dakota State, they tried everything. They did. They tried to rotate coverages. They blitzed him once or twice, and he took off running on it. They tried man. They tried zone. They tried to sit back. They tried to sit everybody back. And he has an answer for everything. Yep. If he's clean enough and often enough, and I like that you bring up stuff under pressure because he can improvise.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like your O-line's beaten too bad. He's just got a little bit of everything. I don't think he gets enough credit for. I think him and Carson Beck are the 2 quarterbacks that see the field better than any quarterback in college football. And I actually don't think it's close. When you talk about seeing the whole field, I'm not a big fan of the late fade ball on first down under 2 minutes when the game is over. That was the one bad decision. But when you look at the way he plays the position, the way he sees defenses, and just the timing and under pressure, it just feels like there are stretches of games where he doesn't make bad decisions.
Yeah.
And we saw it last year. What, did he only throw 3 interceptions last year?
Yeah.
I mean,
his floor, he and Beck's floor is just so high.
The floor is incredible. And there's going to be debates. There's always debates with Colorado about lightning rod and off-field stuff and talking and wearing $100,000 watches or whatever we're doing. But you put on Shador's tape and you block out all the noise, that's an NFL quarterback.
Yep,
For me,
absolutely.
The more I watch him, and the more I at least get to watch him operate in a good pocket and good off, and their pass protection was reasonably good. Wasn't like fantastic, but it was good enough, right? The more you get to watch him in those scenarios and just watch him break down coverages, that's a first-round pick.
Yep.
I mean on this. I mean on Shedeur, take all the off-field stuff for all you want. That's an NFL quarterback because he sees the field from the neck up like an NFL quarterback.
The more I think about it, man, and all offseason, we've tried to find other guys. It felt like Connor Wigman, Drew Aller, like anyone to be like, hey, this guy could be QB1, this guy could be QB1. Because like you look at Shedeur and Carson Beck, they're not the sexy QB1 guys that some other guys, that Caleb Williams has been in the past. But the more I think about it, man, it's just like these just might be the first two quarterbacks off the board. Where it's just like their floors are just so high that we might not get a guy that explodes this year, right? And at the end of the day, like, yeah, they might not be elite quarterbacks in the NFL, but like I just think their floors are so high. And I don't know. I think the more I thought about it, I was like, dude, these are just the first two guys off the board. I mean, I just think these two, Beck and Shedeur, are just so clearly above everyone else in college football right now that I just think they're, at least in the draft evaluation, that I think they're going to be the first two guys off the board. So, yeah, dude, Shedeur was outstanding. My most impressive player, Dawn, though, was Travis Hunter, who I said before, the best player in college football.
Just pick him every week, why don't
I'm going to do every week. Every time we have a Colorado game, it's just like, how's this guy doing this?
It's Travis Hunter. Just the fact that he played 120 snaps and was still fine and walked away from it, yeah.
Well, the first touch of the game, 41-yard touchdown. It's like, all right, there we go. Yeah, 137 snaps he played on offense and defense. He only missed 2 snaps the entire game on both sides of the ball. There were only 2 plays offensively and defensively that he was not on the field for that game. So he's a marathon man, and he was outstanding. Obviously, top 5 highest graded offensive player, top 5 highest graded defensive player for Colorado in this game as well. He had 7 catches on 8 targets for 132 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. And one of those touchdowns, Dalton, how the hell did he catch that football, man? He was getting like choke slammed basically by the defensive back and somehow caught it with like one hand while he was falling down. Unbelievable catch. One of the best I've seen yet, man, honestly. And he averaged 3.4 yards per route run as well. So every time he was out there, he was getting targeted, and he was making the most of it, man. So he was outstanding in this game, and he only allowed 14 yards on 33 coverage snaps as well, which is 0.4 yards allowed per coverage snaps. And he made 3 tackles without missing any tackles either. So this guy was out there every single play, and he was a great player on both sides of the ball for Colorado. And I've said this before, man, he is the Shohei Ohtani of college football, where it's just a great offensive player, great defensive player. I mean, he is just, in my opinion, he's the best player in the country.
I wonder if we have a way, and it's probably not possible, if we had a way like Fangraphs for Ohtani does like composite WAR. They'll rack up his pitching WAR and his hitting WAR, and that's a little easier. I wonder if there's a way to get just one composite Travis Hunter grade. I'm sure our data science people would kill me out loud for saying this, but like, is it possible? I'm just curious if it's possible. Like, if you put whatever that was, the 67 on defense and the 81 on offense, if you found a way to put those two things together and the value that is, what would one composite number look like for that? I'm just curious, but no,
I'd be unreal.
That's a freak of nature. You got a top 5 talent at receiver. You have a top 5 talent in the corner, and they're in the same body. You almost run out of things to say, but you're right. That last catch was ridiculous. Did you see the soundbite too? Before that. Just like, because the one he was interfered with before.
And he's complaining to Shedeur. Shedor's like, dude, just catch the ball.
Catch the effing ball.
Yeah.
Anyway, then he gets choke slammed again, and he does.
Yeah, he does.
That's magic, man. That's great.
Also,
I don't even know.
Travis Hunter's a way better teammate than me, because if Shedeur ever was like, hey, catch the effing ball, I'd be like, dude, I'm playing 140 snaps right now. I'm gassed.
Your quarterback says something, you listen. You shut up.
I get it, but if I'm Travis Hunter, I'm like, dude, give me a break. Like, I'm out. Maybe that's a laziness in me, where I'm like, dude, I'm working my ass off right now. But
you just got to listen to who's in charge.
That's fair.
You never do. We already do.
I never do. No, I really do. I never do. Yeah, Travis Hunter was absolutely outstanding, man, and he has been a guy who's been outstanding ever since his true freshman year, Dalton. And